Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe. Grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back, and let's chat about two things: what's happening today and a look ahead at what we can expect for the week. And welcome to the week of fire, right? Fire, fire. It's funny because this morning, I think it was probably about 5:30. My husband was already up, and all of a sudden the fire alarms start going off, the smoke detectors, which are sort of like fire alarms because they're so loud and so obnoxious. And I thought, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I wake up, I look around my room. He's nowhere to be found, so I figure it is, toaster or something like that. But for no reason whatsoever, the fire alarm or the smoke alarms were going off. And it turns out the batteries were dead or going dead in one of them. And since they're all sort of linked together, one sets off the other. So it was like, major disaster had happened this morning in my house. But literally, it's funny because it's like life imitating art because, or I don't even life imitating the stars or the stars as above, so below, my favorite thing to say. And the moon had moved into Aries, fire, and the sun later today moves into Leo, fire. So we had fire, fire, and it was up in my mind, apparently, and in my smoke detectors. So luckily, we have new batteries in them now, or he's bringing home new batteries tonight. And he said, I don't think I've changed the batteries in that since we moved in here. Well, that would be a little more than 2 years ago. So, yeah, definitely time to change the batteries in the smoke detectors. But I always think of those things that are shocking, that wake you up, or that happen out of the blue as sort of wake up calls for what might be happening in your world or around you. So it was funny. Fire. Wake up, Janet. It's fire. And today I get to tell you all about fire energy. So the moon actually moved into Aries at about 3 o'clock this morning, my time. So about 6 a.m. for those of you living on the East Coast. And Aries is a sign of fire. So we get fire, we get courage, we get creativity, we get passion, and a whole lot of other things. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. And then at 7:50 p.m. tonight, my time, so 7, 8, 9, 10:50 for you all on the East Coast, the sun will move into Leo. So we have the last day of the sun in Cancer, which means it's at the 29th degree. So we might have some challenges today as we look back across the landscape of Cancer and what the sun has brought to us since about June 21st, since the summer solstice, and what that might mean for us moving forward. What have you learned? I can tell you for my own self, I have learned a ton of stuff. And I have had so many technological glitches. It's beautiful for me to see everything looking like it's moving smoothly this morning because I got my own computer back on Friday. Unfortunately, all of my data is gone. And so I'm in the process of reconstructing everything, which isn't going as good as I thought it would. Few things that I have to work out still that I can't seem to get back on this computer. But the important things are here. That is, hopefully you're hearing me with my mic. Hopefully you're seeing my broadcast without me looking like wobbly and blurry. And yeah, we're ready to rock this week. Let's say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Asa. Great to see you this morning. Debbie Hedden, good morning. Suzanne Fulmer, good morning. Patricia, good morning. Dion, good morning. Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel, good morning. Allison, good morning to you. Mimi, good morning. Ashley, good morning. It's nice to see everybody here. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. It was a good weekend. I think it went too fast. I think because I was so immersed in everything that I needed to do with my computer that it went too fast. But we did spend a nice Friday evening with my daughter and had dinner with them and watched a great movie. And then Saturday, I spent most of my time on this. I got to ride in an awesome car on Saturday. One of my next door neighbor from the house that I used to live in went out and bought a Tesla. And we had dinner at their house on Thursday night, and he was telling us all about the car and all the things it does. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And his wife turns to him and goes, you've never given them a drive in your car. So he comes over on Saturday morning and we got to take a ride in a Tesla. And oh my God, what a fabulous car. The whole top of the car is glass, smoked glass. So it's, sun. So the sun isn't beating down on you, but you can see out there to the sky. If the seats are terribly comfortable, oh my gosh, you're just like, oh, I could just sit here. It drives on its own, or it auto corrects, and it's all electric, and it does so many things that it was just, a lot of tech speak for me. I was in the backseat just enjoying the ride. Goes so fast, you cannot even believe it. Like 0 to 90 in just a second or so, 2, maybe 3. It was amazing. So we did have a great weekend. It just seems like it flies by every time. Jacqueline can hear me great because Jacqueline, that's nice. Thank you for letting me know that, because this morning I'm back to using my actual microphone, and which required me setting it back up, and I wasn't sure if I set it up correctly. So I'm glad that's working. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for joining us this morning. So let's take an overview look at what's going on this week. It is certainly not a quiet week by any stretch of the imagination. I told you July, way back in June, I said July is going to be the month. But it is certainly not going to be the same caliber of... I'm not even sure that that's true, right? It could be this, it could be shaking up energy, but in a different way, right? We had eclipses the last, earlier in the month. This week, it's more things like the moon in Aries. That we've had the discussion about Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra, how they all form squares to one another or in opposition to one another. And that anytime the moon moves through one of those 4 signs, it triggers the energy across that Cancer Capricorn axis. And of course, today the moon is in Aries. And so we are triggered, right? We're triggering those planets that are in Cancer, as well as the planets that are in Capricorn, which are also the 2 places that we had the eclipses, the solar eclipse back on July 2nd and the lunar eclipse of July 16th and 17th. So maybe I can quickly, do I have my highlighter here? I do. Let's see here. Let's see if I can outline this for you. So the moon up here in Aries, at 1 degree. It's only at 1 degree. So we've just started it. So today's a quieter day, right? Today we don't have a whole lot of hullabaloo going on with Aries, but tomorrow it will be squaring the planets here and here. And so let me see if I could show you my screen here. So here's the Aries up here, and there's the moon just at 1 degree. It's going to bump into Chiron later today. So we may have momentary blips of pain or wounding. And here is Cancer and here is Capricorn. And they form a 90-degree angle. You can even see, if I highlight this a little bit, you can see the T-square that's formed. I don't think this is going to work. I need a different color. But maybe it just makes that red. So there you can see it. There's that T-square, right, between the planets in Cancer and Capricorn, pointing up here to latter degrees of Aries, but still energetic, and in some cases life-changing, and in some cases life-shaking. And that's okay, because the opposite end, remember the quiet end of all of that, is in Libra. So we're being sort of pushed to bring things into balance. We're being pushed to do the 3 C's: cooperate, collaborate, and co-create, right? So if we can keep those 3 things in mind, being tactful and diplomatic, peaceful, right? Trying to keep things in balance and harmony, seeing both sides of the coin, being able to be fair and just. Those are the challenges of this T-square that's happening. So that is mostly happening tomorrow, the 23rd. On Wednesday, the moon is in Aries, but it's void of course all day from about 7:49 tomorrow morning, my time, until 2:43 tomorrow, or Wednesday afternoon. So 7:49 Wednesday morning to 2:43 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, West Coast time. The moon will be void of course, so it's just hanging there, right? It's just hanging there. And then after 2:43, it moves on into Taurus. So for those of you on the East Coast, most of your day is spent with the moon void of course. So it isn't a great day to start new things, right? Or to even try to have important meetings or anything like that. It will be a day for all of us, coast to coast, to sort of clean off the desk, do some work behind the scenes, take a day off if you can, um, do some things that aren't necessarily things that you need to have your full 100% attention and all of your energy. So Wednesday's kind of that day where we're going to be more quietish. Mercury is conjunct Venus that day. We'll talk about more of that as the week wears on. Thursday, the moon and is still in Taurus. It's going to conjunct Uranus, right? Uranus brings surprises. The moon conjunct Uranus can bring us some surprising emotions or outbursts, things like that. Squares Mars later that day, trine Saturn. Thursday might be one of those days, and Mars is also trine Jupiter that day. So I would expect a confrontational sort of day, with some upsets along the way, and I hope a dose of karma. Saturn is also in the mix, and that means that there could be some comeuppance for people out there in the world. And I do believe that it's either Wednesday the 24th. If it's Wednesday the 24th that Mueller is doing his talk with Congress, expect not much to come of it, because most of the day the moon is void of course, right? But if it happens to be Thursday the 25th, and I don't remember what the day is now, then expect fireworks, or expect the fireworks on Thursday from what's been said on Wednesday, if he is indeed doing that on the 24th. Friday, the weekend. The weekend seems like a very nice weekend. The moon will be in Gemini. That's communicative. That is, usually having fun. So a great weekend ahead. No major upsets over the weekend. So all in all, even though the week, there are some, it's almost like the week is going up, reaches a peak, and then comes back down in terms of energy, in terms of the conflict scale. So maybe we could call it the conflict confrontation scale, is moving up for the week. It is sort of plateauing and then comes down, so that we end up in a weekend that is much nicer. So let's talk about let's see if anybody has any questions, because I haven't been scrolling. Any questions out there? Any experiences from the weekend that you want to talk about? I don't see any comments more, so I'm going to go into, while I wait to see if people have questions, the moon in Aries. So we have the next couple of days with the moon in Aries that's ramping up the energy. It ramps up the energy because the sign Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. And Mars is a planet of action and confrontation, and it can bring up aggression and, or at the very minimum, assertiveness, right? So we're asserting ourselves, our individualism, our will out there into the world. So no matter where Aries is in your chart, or no matter what you have in Aries this week, or at least these first few days of the week, you have this energy of putting yourself out there. And wherever the house is that the moon is transiting through in Aries is where you feel like you can put yourself out there. So for example, mine happens to be in the career and in the 9th house. So the 9th house is growth and expansion, the 10th house, career and profession. So it's both houses. If it's in the 2nd house, you may be out there spending money this week for some reason, or having to realign yourself, come back into alignment with your values, or dealing with resources that you have. Dion says, on Saturday, I had huge subconscious beliefs emerge or come to her awareness. It was a tough day. Oh gosh. Well, even though my heart is going out to you for having to deal with those subconscious things, Dion, it's the best thing ever. Why? Because now you've seen it. Now you know it's there. Now you can work with it. If it stays in the subconscious mind, there's nothing you can do about it. It just keeps biting your butt from behind the scenes. Once you are aware of it, even though it may still hold some power over you, you can do something about it. So yay for you. Lisa wants to know, when's a good time to look for a job? I would do it today. I would do it tomorrow, and I would skip Wednesday. because Wednesday's that void of course moon, and then go back to it maybe Thursday and Friday. Is there another void? Hold on, let me tell you. There's not another void of course moon until the 26th, which is on Friday. So it looks like your best days are going to be today, Tuesday, and Thursday, if that makes sense. Okay, Lisa? And Dion, of course, fully appreciative. I was just shocked to find that stuff was lingering in there. It's always shocking, isn't it? It's always shocking, but always wonderful. Maybe not at first. And remember, now that the moon is in Aries and Chiron is retrograde in Aries, it's today sitting at about 5 degrees, 52 minutes. So right around 6 degrees. So the moon moving toward Chiron is going to give us a moment of healing. Remember, it's the wounded healer. So maybe a healing from that wound. Or maybe it was even, just the opening of the wound so that you can move through it, so it can be healed, right? If you don't even know that there is a wound, it's hard to heal it. So I think it's all in good support for you, Dion. Colleen, good morning. My progressed Saturn is at my natal Saturn, but not retrograde. This isn't my Saturn return, right? Right. Your Saturn return occurs at around age 27 and a half to 29 and a half, and also at about age 58 to 59. You're not at either of those ends. You're kind of smack there in the middle. It's your progressed planet, right? So it's just how many, let's see, I can't remember how old you are, Colleen, but it's moved ahead based on, the number of where it moved in the number of days that you, the number of days per year that you have been alive. Wow, that's always so hard to say. Okay. Good morning, Linda. Good morning. Hope Janet is okay, just having computer problems. Oh no, so it's catching. I swear, Linda, I didn't bring it to you. Let's see. Dion agreed. Thank you. You're welcome. Allison, something told me to hang on. I'm going for a good ride. Yay. Yes, go for a good ride, right? Go for a good ride. So today, courage. We have to have courage. Well, the moon is in Aries. You have courage to take action on something new, or in a way that you've not done it before, or where you've been reluctant to do something. You have the courage today, tomorrow, the next day to take action in a way that you wouldn't have normally done things. It's a great day to become independent, to work independently, to be assertive. Watch out for being aggressive, though. And even assertiveness can sometimes cross that threshold to aggression. So you want to be able to put your best foot forward. You want to be able to assert yourself, but from a place of power and not a place of fear, okay, or from disempowerment. There's always a difference, right? One seems grasping and the other one seems very powerful. So that's in the air. Watch for conflict and confrontation between yourself and others, but also remember other people may not be paying attention to astrological things, and they may not even know that they are tapped in unconsciously into the moon and the energy of conflict and confrontation. So they may attempt to, start a conflict with you, or to in some way assert themselves or be aggressive towards you. You get to choose, right? And we learn with fire energy to breathe and then take action, not react, right? Not knee jerk. So watch that for the next few days. Now, with the sun moving into Leo, the sun's going to be in Leo until August 23rd. So a month of time that we have energy that is, or where we have an energetic connection to the fire sign Leo. So here we have the energy of pride, being proud of who you are, being proud of your work, being proud of your nation, being proud of the community. Pride. It is a very outgoing and extroverted sign. It's very playful, right? The Leo is Leos are like the big kids of the zodiac, right? They always are in more of that playful stance. And if they're not, they're in the wrong place. If they're not in their playful side, they're in the drama side, the dramas. So we've got to watch out for dramas and for traumas. Now watch the outer world, right? Because a lot of things right now are going on in our outer world. And and they've got the marks of conflict and confrontation and power struggles written all over it. And I don't expect that gets better with the sun now moving into a fire sign. If anything, I think while the sun was in Cancer, it kept a lid on things a bit. Now I think the lid's going to come off and the steam is going to rise, and it's going to hopefully come to a head at a point that we can choose to diplomatically or peacefully create a solution to all the worldly things, but also in your own life. If things have been if there's been sort of a cap on something, expect the lid to open up, because the sun in fire is much more energetic than it was while the sun was in water. Okay. There's drama, there's color, there's expansion, there's extroversion, and somewhat some traumas that go on with the sun in Leo. It's a great time to express your truth through your individualistic way of being. So through being an individual, Leo is called to be out in the center of attention, to claim their own individualism. That means being you, no matter what, be you. So whether you're a Leo or not, it doesn't matter, because this energy is playing out in your chart. So you can almost look to where Leo is in your chart, and you can see where the fire energy is going to be burning, right? Wherever that is. So if it's in the first house, it's personal, right? There's this personal path forward for you. And 10th house, career. If it's in your 5th house, it's fun, play, joy, going on vacation, being creative. So a lot of that really good energy, but we have to watch out for the shadow side of Leo energy. One of them is the negative side of pride, which is almost arrogance and narcissism, right? We have to watch out for vanity, and we have to watch out for being overly self-involved. You know how I like to say being self-centered, which most people would think of is as being negative. I think that is you being in your power. Self-centered. But when you're overly self-centered, then it gets into being self-involved or being selfish or being more vain or arrogant, narcissistic. Those are the more negative expressions of that Leo energy. There is somewhat a prima donna energy that comes up with this. As in, I want you to serve me kind of thing. So we want to watch that too. We're here to serve the world, each of us as individuals. And in exchange, we get served by the world, right? Or by others. But it has to be an even exchange. I hope that makes sense for everybody. This is not me sitting up on my pedestal and just waiting. Well, I could be sitting on my pedestal waiting for gifts to shower me, but not just so I can hoard those gifts, but so that I can share those gifts, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong in receiving abundance. It's hoarding the abundance that you don't want to have. You want to be able to exchange those gifts. Hope that makes sense for everybody. Let's see, any other comments going on here? Jacqueline says, I had a migraine over the weekend, Saturday to be exact. What does this mean for someone who's a Sagittarius? It's more fire, right? Sagittarius is a fire sign. Fire, fire, fire. You're burning hot. So you're going to have to cool down your temperature, right? You're going to have to cool down things that you do. That means you might need more meditation. You might need to maybe go swimming, get near the water, do things that are calming and soothing, because that's a lot of fire moving through a chart, right? It's trine energy, which means it flows. And so it can flow. Aries rules the head. It can flow from migraines. It can go down into Leo then, which rules the back or the heart, raising your blood pressure perhaps, and then flow over to Sagittarius, which rules the hips and the legs, and maybe some issues, keeping your body centered and grounded. Your hips are your center mass. It's not your center mass. It's your stabilizers, right? It stabilizes you. So watch for being destabilized, watch your head, and watch for back issues. Those will be signals to you that from your body that you're overfired, you're overfiring. I hope that makes sense to you. Jacqueline also says okay, I already did that. Good. Linda, I signed up for a class with Sonia Choquette. I cannot remember who she is, but good job. And hopefully that's something good for you, Linda. I don't remember what kind of work she does. I remember she was in The Secret. I think. Well, Linda, tell me what she does because I just don't remember. Okay, so let's look at the Pleiadian-Earth energy for today. Today is 3 planting. That means over the weekend, on Saturday to be exact, we started a new week. And that new week now, a new 13-day week, is taking us through an evolutionary impulse, right? Where we go from the energy of, on the earth energy of, hold on, I got to tell you, it was being, then breathing, then listening, and today is planting, right? Planting energy. All right. Hold, please. Saturday was 1 breathing. Okay, yeah. I was getting confused. So the universal energy of the day is 3. And the 3 is about planting or creating new things. It is also about thinking in new ways, right? We can't, what's that saying? I think it was Einstein, we cannot solve a problem from the same level from which it was created. We have to think outside the box. We have to get out of our minds. If the trouble started in our minds, we're going to have to get down into our hearts. We cannot solve a problem from the same level in which it was created. So we have the energy today to think in new ways, to create new things. And then the energy for the earth today is planting energy, which is Kan in the Mayan calendar. It represented the seed, right? Something that we plant. It's a day for feeling lucky. It's a day for being energetic. It's a day for new things. We have new kind of twice here. Avoid being irresponsible, however, right? We don't want to be irresponsible or immature in the way that we go about doing what we do in the world. And then that also means watch for those kinds of things from other people. You may be finding yourself today shaking your head going, oh my God, they're so immature or so irresponsible. But make sure that you call that in to yourself and look at where that may be playing out in your own personal life. So I think it's a really great day, Pleiadian wise. There is a minor little scritchy aspect going on today, and that is the Sun sesquiquadrate Jupiter. Now remember, I'm going to draw oh good, that one doesn't have it. I'm going to draw you a picture of the symbol for a sesquiquadrate. It is a square with a half a square on it. It looks like this. So if you see that in a chart ever, that is the symbol for a sesquiquadrate. It is a 90-degree relationship added to a 45-degree, i.e. 135-degree angle between the Sun and Jupiter right now. And that makes for high energy and I don't want to say high energy because it really isn't. It's like halfway to the next square. So in a way, it tells us that there's some minor annoyances going on, right? Things that just make you not feel quite, maybe little irritations, right? Sand in your shoe or sand in your bathing suit, right? You go out into the water and next thing you know, you sit down on the beach and you got sand in your seat, in your suit. And it's just irritating, right? Little irritants. It challenges us today to make sure we are not overindulging, that we are not overestimating our ability to do anything or to bring something to fruition, that we are not exaggerating something, right? You can't go out today and say, I can do that for $100 and the material itself costs you $100, right? And then what's the labor involved? So today we have to be very careful about those energies. Stay within what you can actually do. Stay within your means. Stay within your sort of boundaries, but without getting limited by the boundaries, but just being there in the boundaries because you know that to do anything outside of that is too taxing or would be a lie or would be an overindulgence or an overestimation of what it is that is possible for you. So basically, don't take on more than what's reasonable for you and your energy, for you in your world. We actually have this feeling that we could do almost anything. But is that true? You've got to weigh the incoming opportunities against the responsible or the responsibilities that you already have in play. So do that. But we're being pushed right now to expand ourselves into new things. But we're being prodded almost to expand in positive ways, right? Remember back at the beginning of the year, which holy cow was now 7 months ago, and it was probably 8 months ago in December when we talked about the upcoming energy for 2019. And one of the things I talked about was being a good steward, right? Conservatism. And I wasn't talking a political agenda in conservatism. It was about being sustainable and being a good steward of your time, of your energy, of your resources, but also the earth's resources. Your company that you work for, being a good steward of their resources. So this is about being expansive, but in a sustainable way, right? Not in a way that overdoes it or tips you over an edge, where those headaches become, major things, or where the body breaks down because you're overdoing something. Okay. I hope that helps everybody for so far for the week. Let's take a look here. God, it's only 8:30. How did that happen? Because I'm moving fast, I guess, this morning. Ashley, have a good day, everyone. She's running off to the doctor. She'll finish listening later. Awesome. See you later, Ashley. Suzanne, 3, a day of accomplishment. You will find cooperation where you need it in matters of new projects. Problems are quickly ended. This is a good day for meeting people, travel, and fun. Yay. Right? Good day for that. Just watch out for conflict to confrontation because other people may not be so in the know. Linda, love your spider plant. Oh, I forgot I put that there. He's up normally up on the hutch over there. Well, whatever way I would have to point. But I brought it down because it was warm yesterday and it was the day for me to feed all my plants. So I just never put them back. Angel number 3, Suzanne has posted up for us. That's awesome. Allison says, on another subject, what is Cazimi? Cazimi is a word that we use when Mercury joins the sun or any planet conjuncts the sun. Cazimi is just a fancy word that just means conjunction. And it's usually only used with the sun because the sun is the fire, and any planet that joins it is also empowered by fire and can also be burned by the light of the sun. So I think you're speaking about yesterday where Mercury conjuncted the sun, or Mercury and the sun were Cazimi. We like to use these weird words in astrology: sesquiquadrate, trines, or what was the other one? Quincunx, quintile, biquintile, right? It goes back probably to the Latin form of firing, Cazimi. So yesterday, indeed, Mercury was conjunct the sun. And yesterday also, Venus was opposing Pluto. So yesterday was a pretty powerful day, but I don't think it was as overt in your face as some other days have been. But when Mercury joins up with the sun, and remember, Mercury's still retrograde. So it's backed into the sun and it gets sort of instructions from the sun on what happens next. But remember, he's still in retrograde until the 31st. So until next week, right? What is today? Today's the 22nd. Yeah, until next Wednesday. Then Mercury turns direct and will conjunct the sun again later up toward September. And at that point, then gets new marching orders that will be more about Leo or Virgo energy and what happens next from there. So we are really cleaning up, right? Cazimi in this case was really about the fact that Mercury had retrogressed back into Cancer, conjunct the sun still in Cancer. And what is it that we need to take from traditions, family, protection, security, all of those things that we've been working on, emotions. So it could have, been a day of emotional volatility for some people. I think, though, we've experienced so much of that I don't know that it might have just been a blip on the screen. And I barely noticed it. I don't know that that means you guys barely noticed it, but I barely noticed it, thankfully, because it had been an emotional week leading up to that point. Okay. Does that answer your question, Allison? And let's see here. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is draw a card for the week. I'm going to draw one from the Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'm going to draw one from the Spirit Animal deck. So let's do that real quick. Give us a card for the week ahead. And I can't see the clock because I opened up my front door, but it looks like it's about 8:35. So I may have time to do a couple of card readings. If there's anybody out there in particular need for that. Ooh, a leg up. That's the card. Number 34, which is a 7. Highly spiritual. 2 little polar bears. Well, 1 big polar bear and a little polar bear. And let's see what that might mean for us this week. 34. I think we had this card for somebody just recently. Oops, totally past 34. There it is. So the essential meaning is receiving help, delegating authority, and interdependence. Great theme for the moon in Aries, by the way. And the card was right side up. So the oracle's message is you've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time. I love it. Perfect. Let's look at a spirit animal card. Colleen would love a wisdom card, and Mimi's always up for an animal card. All right, ladies, you got it. But let's do an animal card for the week first, and then we'll do the rest. Ooh, these cards are still slick. I don't know, maybe it's just the paper they're on. Seahorse, but it was upside down. And it says, watch and wait. Seahorse number 53, which is an 8. All right, Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait. So let's see what that card means. Number 53. Watch and wait. And in protection says, are you holding on to judgment, sure that your perspective is the only correct way to look at things? Geez, isn't that going on in our outer world all day long, every day? There are as many perspectives as there are creatures in the sea. And when Seahorse Spirit appears, you are reminded to detach from the experience so you can view it from more than one angle. Pay attention to your hidden beliefs and how they affect the way you think, feel, and act. Are you being fair to all involved, or do you need to step back? Perhaps the drama you have been drawn into is your own. Whatever the actions of others, your challenge is to be non-reactive and not take their words or behaviors personally. Their turbulence may have little to do with you, so remain neutral until you know more. Your perspective may be quite different in time. I think those are wise words for any of us right now. Awesome. Okay, so Lordy. Suzanne has put up angel number 8. Awesome. Thank you, Suzanne. And I'm going to go back because I can't remember who first asked for a card. Debbie Hedden first asked for a wisdom card. So Debbie, this is for you from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. She also put up angel number 7 for the first card, the leg up card. Wow, Debbie, this is... Let me just focus for a second. Oh, now it flipped out. A change in the wind, the zebra. Card number 12, which is a 3. A change in the wind, and it was upright. So Debbie Hedden, and I do that because there's 2 Debbies out there this morning. And there may be other Debbies listening. The essential meaning of the card is a sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift or uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. It's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent like a zebra's stripes. Yet nothing in human experience is black and white, nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is a time of transformation as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming on the shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. It's really a good card. So that's for you, Debbie Hedden. And Mimi, I think you said animal card. Was that you, Mimi, back there? Yeah, animal card. Just making sure. And Colleen, a wisdom card for you next. And this is for Mimi. Whale spirit and upright. And it says, trust the great mystery. It's kind of a beautiful card, don't you think? A whale swimming. Okay, now. Oh, I hit it. There we go. Whale spirit is card 65, which is an 11. Okay, so trust the great mystery. Whale spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, and heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet. In the hidden realms where all things must gather first before manifesting into form, whale spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world from the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When whale spirit appears, it is a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand it. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart, through intuition, and through the peripheral senses that part the veil, separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and to trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by angels. I think that's an awesome card too. Whale spirit. Okay, and Colleen wants a wisdom card, so I'm going back to this deck here. Oops, don't forget that card. All right, Colleen, this one is for you. And then I think I'll have time for another one or two after that. I thought I saw Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel wanting a card. And yes, any card. And let me go see if there's another one. Good morning, Lynn. And yeah, it is the first time that we saw that card, Mimi. I've drawn it for myself, and I think I've drawn it for other people, but I don't know that we've ever had it show up on air like this for other people. So it's kind of cool to see that. All right, this one is for you, Colleen. Cards want nice shape. Oh, goodness. Okay. So half the deck wanted to fall out of my hand just so that this card could pop out. We've seen this one a lot lately. This is Message in a Bottle, number 15, which is a 6. And you see the pelican sitting there. I'm not sure if you guys can see this very well. Maybe if I pull it back. There we go. The pelican sitting on the bottle. And let's see what that one. It was right side up. Card 15. We probably could memorize this card by now. You're welcome, Debbie. 15. Essential meaning is communication, a sign, a kleidon, the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. Kind of like that card. I have personally gotten this card recently. I think we pulled it last week for a message for the week. Either that or somebody else that wanted a reading got that card. So fun. Okay, it's like we keep getting urged, all of us, even through Colleen in this case this week, to watch for signs, right? To engage in the mystery that is our outer world. So, all right, and then Debbie Tibbetts, Tumiel. I have this deck that I'm going to pull for you. This is for Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel. And Jacqueline, I think I will have time to do a spirit animal card for you. Oh, wow. I don't think we've had this one either. Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel, New Life, right? Card number 39, which is a 12, which is a 3. And, it always reminds me, the 39 in human design. I don't know why it always is the one that triggers me, but that the gate of provocation, being provoked, pushed, prodded, start something new. Okay, let's take a look. Card 39 is back further. And it says, birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. The oracle's message says, when spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. Blossoms burst from the trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. And look at that fairy. She's just like waking up from slumber. It kind of makes me think that, where things have been, maybe you felt like you were in the dark, suddenly you're awake and, new things are coming forth for you. Gotta love that one. All right. And okay, Ashley, I will do one for you as well, but I'm going to do Jacqueline. She asked for a spirit animal card. So Jacqueline, this is for you. Ashley, that was quick. I guess that's a good thing, right? In and out of the doctor. And hopefully all was well. Ooh, Jacqueline, Hawk Spirit. It is card number 32, which is a 5. And it says, let spirit be your guide. So it's hawk. And we have this beautiful hawk. I can't tell if he's a red-tailed hawk. He's just a hawk. And he's standing in as regal a position as he can, because you know how hawks and eagles, they always seem like they're so, I don't know, regal. And let's read card number 32, hawk, which usually is about messages coming from spirit. It says, let spirit be your guide. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain and the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When hawk spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending to guide you. Lately, you have been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places. Oh, have you been? It says, sorry about that. Lately, have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places? Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When hawk spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. Listen. Got it. All right. That's awesome. Let's see who. Yeah, and you're welcome. You're welcome. Ashley, I'm going to draw oops, that's not that deck. I'm going to Ashley, would you prefer a wisdom card or an animal card? Because I don't have any pull either way. You'll take anything, she says. Okay, let's do an animal card. And then we'll see. We'll see. This is for Ashley. Dealer's choice. Okay. Wow. Elephant spirit. I don't think we've ever seen this one. This is card number 25, which is a 7. So it's spiritual. Look at that elephant. Isn't she beautiful? With the diadem right there in her forehead, her third eye. And it says, learn from the past. Elephant spirit, learn from the past. And let's see over here. 25. Okay, and it was right side up. So it says, although we often wish we could leave the past behind, elephant spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions they have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect for the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant spirit appears with the message that we are here to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it. All of us are memory-based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we are going. The stories of events you experienced, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity, for you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow. Wow, that's a great card. I think that one is so beautiful, right? And don't those ears almost look like wings? I think it's meant to do that. I almost see like hawk wings in there. It's a pretty amazing picture when you look at all the different things in there. Okay, well, I think that is it for me today. Let's see, anything else going on there? Good, Ashley. I'm so glad. That makes perfect sense. Let's see, for this week, Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. my time, so it would be 8 p.m. for those of you on the East Coast, I will be on Angel Heart Radio, my monthly show with Annette McCoy in Australia. And we will be talking about God knows what, because with all of my computer challenges this week, she and I kept missing, or last week, we kept missing one another. So we will likely talk about, I don't know what. Spirit will tell me. And that will be again at 5 p.m. West Coast time on Wednesday and 8 p.m. for you all on the East Coast. In the meantime, I will see you all tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Remember to stay calm, cool, and collected in the face of other people's wanting to drag you into conflict or confrontation. Explore, expand, but be conscious. All right. Bye. Take care.